So on What Women Binge, my podcast, we hear a lot about how our guests were your first crushes. So we decided to put a best of together. So on this episode, you're going to hear a best of Candace Cameron Bure, DJ Tanner, right? Full House. Danica McKellar, Wonder Years, right? Winnie Cooper. Kirkpatrick, Bye Bye Bye. And, of course, Joey Lawrence. So check it out.
So wait, okay, so we have to talk a little bit about your career before we get into all the stuff that you love.
Okay.
So I just have to talk to you about my favorite project of yours, which is Some Kind of Wonderful. Where you were like the kind of snotty little sister.
Yeah.
And gave him a little hell.
Yeah.
But super cute and so adorable.
Thank you.
Do you remember anything about, I know you were very little.
I do remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. I had auditioned for that and was working on that and then got the part of DJ on Full House. And they actually held shooting the pilot so I could finish Some Kind of Wonderful.
Way.
Yeah. But I remember, you know what's so funny? I remember the one bad thing that happened on that.
Of course.
And that was, and this is so many years later, right? I hold no grudges.
Yeah.
But I was a little kid. I was 9 years old, and Eric Stoltz, who was playing my big brother, I think he was probably trying to pull something out of me in the scene. So he kept teasing me and not saying his lines. And as a kid, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I know how to say it.
Your cue.
Yeah. And then I kept missing everything, and I didn't know how to respond because I didn't know how to improvise, and I got so mad at him. And I was like, he just made me have a bad day, and he made me mess up and not be my best. And you feel like a failure when you're a little kid taking direction and you're not doing everything that you're supposed to. But when I look back on it, I'm like, I think he was probably just trying to have fun and get me to do something different.
Yeah, he was poking you a little, trying to get some performance thing.
Yeah, but that's the standout from 9 years old because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I guess. And
I get it.
I get it. It's
Totally, I get that.
But I watched that movie recently, like a year ago. And
I need to. We just had Leah on, and I need to watch it again because I love that movie. So I wanted to be Watts so bad. When she gets the earrings at the end, she's like, I thought I would get them. I didn't know, but I thought,
Yeah,
such a good movie.
It's interesting that you said that you just remember the bad thing because that's exactly what Leah said. She said, as actors, everything is, you remember the hard stuff.
It's funny,
struggle with each project, but you don't really remember
I always remember the breakups. The dog died that day, or that's the day I had the stomach bug, or it's how you. Or I do remember the costumes or the stunts. In a lot of cases, the stunts that you have to do are kind of.
I remember on that particular movie, they told me to basically bring whatever clothes I had. So we brought a suitcase, and she opened them up, and she's like, "These are too cute. These are too cute." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I actually had to have wardrobe. They didn't use much of my own clothes for that.
Oh my God, you just brought a memory up for me too. I was doing a JCPenney commercial. And it's the first time I had to shave my legs. I don't know why they brought
How old were you?
I think I was 12, and they were like, I had to throw my legs over a chair and kick my legs in the air dancing or something. And I remember someone stopped, they cut, and of course it was very quiet. And I was like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And they go and whisper to my mom. And then my mom comes to me and goes, come with me. We have to go to the bathroom. And they had to shave my legs.
No way.
And I was like, wait, what? So
did you feel embarrassed? Did you feel wow, I'm grown up?
It was a little bit of both. It was a little well, that's weird. So that's what they were all whispering about. But then also okay, cool, we're going to shave my legs. Right?
Totally.
Not realizing I'd have to do that for the rest of my life. I'd have to start a little bit early. But yeah, I don't know why that memory just came up. But you do remember these things based on random, strange things
and they're
that
not
occur.
Normal memories for most children.
No.
You were forced to shave your legs because all the public was looking at your legs.
Because they could see the fuzz on your leg when you were kicking your leg in the air. Gross. Weird. But yeah, definitely bizarre. But I mean, obviously the fans love and adore Full House. And what was it that made you want to come back to Fuller House to do the reboot? Because people keep asking me about reboots, and I'm like, it's scary. It's a scary place to venture into, I feel like. But you guys sort of pioneered it, I feel like.
We really did. We were so excited to do it, and we had talked about it for years, and we were the ones that went out and pitched it. So we did pioneer it. It wasn't all of a sudden Warner Brothers called us and said, hey, what do you think about doing this? Yeah. The original creator and writer and executive producer of Full House, Jeff Franklin, who also created, wrote, and executive produced Fuller House, talked to all of us, John Stamos, Bob Saget, me, and said, hey, what do you guys think about going out and pitching it? We can get Warner Brothers on board, and then we can run it to all the different networks. Yes.
Because the problem I run into, and people don't understand this in the industry, is that I don't own it anymore. Like we owned Sabrina for a certain amount of time, and that expired. And so people don't seem to understand that I can't just be like, let's just do this. Like it depends on who owns it and where. It's all very messy.
Exactly. And Miller Boyett owns it as well, but they were on board. So we went out and pitched it to all the networks, and we didn't think that anyone was going to pick it up. And then Netflix was our last pitch.
Oh.
And Netflix.
And it was just upcoming, right? Wasn't Netflix kind of just becoming like a bigger streamer thing? Like,
I mean, it was 5 years ago now. So, I mean, they had hit their stride.
Okay, yeah.
They had hit their stride.
So it was a buzzword. Netflix was a buzzword.
Yes, it was. So we were really excited. But you know what made me say yes immediately is because we are all so close. The cast, even Jeff Franklin, who created it, and Bob Boyett, like we have all been a family for 30 years. And so the idea of going back to work with my best friends was like, yes. And we love our characters. We love what the show represents. Like everything is a good memory. So it was like, let's do this. And we also knew that our fan base has never left us.
Yeah.
Full House has never been off the air in 35 years.
Wow.
Never, ever been off the air. So we know how massive the fan base is and how strong it was. And we knew that they would rally and support and come out for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that would happen with Sabrina if we could figure out who owns it.
Yeah, I think it would too. I think it would too.
It's lovely. Figure out who owns it. It's like ABC or CBS or Paramount or I don't know. It's such a convoluted. But they already did it. They did it for Netflix as a Chilling Adventures, the new one, but it's totally different. Yeah, it's like a YA audience. It's sexy. It's definitely more witchcraft, whereas ours was more magic, I would say. But but it's just the question I get all the stinking time, and I'm like, it's hard to answer in a soundbite because it doesn't make sense to most people that we just don't know who owns it. I mean, we do, but like
I know
they're not easy to access.
I know people are always like, just do one more season of Fuller House. I'm like, I wish we could.
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that.
My choice.
I know, that's funny. Yeah, but you totally would if you could.
Oh yeah.
Aw. Where did you shoot that?
At Warner Brothers on our original stage that we shot Full House.
Oh, that's so special.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is a great lot. I'd never worked over there, and then I started directing Young Sheldon, and all of a sudden I was Oh wait, directing. We just talked about directing. You called me when you wanted to direct Fuller House.
Yep.
And you
I know.
And you did it.
I did it 3 times and ended up loving it.
And
you
was I
were
right?
You told me, you're like, you're going to do this. You're going to be great. And then you're going to ask yourself, why haven't I been doing this a long time ago?
That's exactly what I said. And I was like, yeah.
And you were so right. After that first one, I was like, why haven't I been doing this? I loved it, loved it.
And especially when it's your crew and it's your cast and you know every character inside and out. Like it's a little tricky when you step into a show that's been on like a 5th season, like something like I walked into Goldberg's and I was terrified because like I'm not going to tell those actors anything. I'm not going to find a new angle to put the camera at. What am I here for? And then you realize you're just sort of there for, to bring new energy and to kind of infuse it and to tell the story and to, keep everything light and moving. Mm-hmm. And but when you're on a show like that and you know every intricacy of that, I mean, where the fire escapes are, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there's no questioning anything. Like you don't have to learn. Like a lot of time when I step on the set of someone else's show, I'm like, where's the bathroom? I don't even know where the bathroom is.
Right.
Like when you know that, it makes it so much easier. You know the crew's names. You know who to go to for props or wardrobe or all that. So it's such a nice thing.
You were the first person I thought of and have inspired me so much in that part of my life because I look at you and we've had similar careers over the years and starting so young and doing like. There's few people in life who really understand what you've gone through. Yeah. And we are those 2 people. Yeah. Like we get it. So I look at you and then see how you've gone out of like the box, out of the acting box, and maybe out of your comfort zone because I don't know how you felt about going into directing but I know you've produced and done all of those things. And I just am like, wow, it's so inspiring. Yeah. And then I'm like, if she can do it,
I'm going to cry.
I can do it. But as a person that watches from a distance, I'm just have been so impacted by you.
Thank you. Same to you. I mean, you're such an entrepreneur in in all the different things you do. Like, I mean, in acting and then adventuring into directing and in all you have so many like businesses, and you're such a business-minded woman, and I
A lot
love
of balls
that.
to keep in the air.
It is,
Yes.
and a mom of 3, and
Yes.
you were so young when you had them too. I feel like you've got these big people now in your life, and I just look at those. I remember watching them grow up on, like when they got a little bit bigger. I think when I started paying attention to Instagram, they seemed like little people, and then they got
Right.
so big. And
I know.
and I started getting sad for you. Like they're so big. I
Your
mean,
daughter,
I
who
have
is a
adults.
clone of you. She's
Yeah.
so beautiful. And is she getting into
Yeah.
acting now? Or
Yeah, she's been acting. She is an actress, so
That's awesome.
she loves it. She's hooked.
She's hooked. She's been hooked since she was about 16, but probably, by 18, 19, because she's also a singer and songwriter as well. And she loves music, but she decided probably by 18, like, I will pursue music, but I really want to be an actress.
She's a multi-hyphenate
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
that's
Yeah.
not shocking.
Can you
Look
sing?
at the genetics.
I know.
No, I wish I
I
could
can't sing. It's like my worst fear.
I don't believe
Mine
either of you, because
too.
every
Really?
actress I've met so far can actually sing.
Except
and
for these
I'll
two.
say you can't.
Like I'll do karaoke, but only if I'm really drunk and it's going to be funny and stupid. Like I have to sing a really difficult song, so it seems ridiculous.
I just rap.
Oh, wait.
Because then I'm like, I'm good. I can rap. Here's the thing. I can carry a tune, but I don't have a beautiful voice.
I'm going to need you
That's
to rap.
nice. I don't know if I can carry a tune. I just get told I sound like a cat dying or something.
Oh,
so
no.
It's not good. My oldest son liked for me to sing him to sleep, like loved it, and would always be like, Mommy, your voice is so beautiful. But then the middle one, literally at 6 months old, I'm like holding him, rocking him to sleep, and I'd start singing to him, and he'd go, and he'd try to like wiggle away from me, and so I'd stop singing, and he'd calm down, and then I'd start again. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a terrible voice. Like even my infant can't handle it.
That was the one thing I started at this year, because I every year I'm like, I want to learn something new. Again,
Yeah.
watching your Instagram and your life, and you started writing, you're like, I'm going to read a book about writing.
Oh my
I'm going
gosh.
to do this thing. So I was like,
Oh wow, I didn't know it was so inspiring. Thank you, Candace.
I-
And I
I
watch you, and I'm
truly,
like, I got to
truly
work
mean
out
it.
harder.
I know.
well, I said, what's the one thing I wish I could do that I'm really self-conscious about, but like, I feel like I could do at least improve.
Yeah.
And it's singing. So at the start of the year, I started taking singing lessons.
You did?
And then Bob died, and then my life like crashed. So I haven't taken a singing
I
lesson
know. I'm
since.
sorry.
But I will
That's
pick
what
it
you
up.
wanna do,
I just had,
yeah.
I kind of had to get my life back on track over
Yeah.
the last few months, because that was a devastating loss. Not to get all sad on this podcast.
No, but
we're
I-
not
but-
going to talk about Bob. But I did start singing. I will pick it back up, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to learn something new, and I can keep doing this. I don't want to ever stop learning as I grow older.
I think we have that so much in common, because I've gone back to school for photography, or like taken like continuing ed in photography in Italian. And then during COVID, one of my favorite things, and I've kind of given this up, is piano. Have you ever played the piano?
I did I took lessons for 5 years when I was a kid.
Yeah, I never did. And I started during COVID, and it was so hard, but it's so exciting for me. And now my entire family's doing it. So I desperately want
so
a piano.
cool.
We have like a keyboard, but I want like a piano for
I
my
went back to school for weather.
Oh yeah, this is a multi hyphenate over here too, like design, and you're in fashion, and she's a weather girl, and she always lets me know when the bad tornadoes are coming through Nashville, so it's very helpful.
If you ever need a weather forecaster, I'm your girl.
Yeah, if you're like, hey, is that what's
Be
going
afraid
on?
to give me your cell phone, because I'll be texting.
I do that for all my friends. I'm like, just send me your address. I'll put it in my radar. And if there's ever a threat, it alerts me. I can tell you before the weatherman on TV could.
I really need to do that for like when I fly, like how, because I'm a nervous flyer. Like, hey, what's the weather like over Kansas right now? Because it always seems rough over there.
Oh, that's because of the terrain, not because of the
Terrain,
weather.
okay.
Sorry.
But you can't help me with that?
I mean, I can tell you if there's turbulence.
There's going to be
but-
some
yeah.
storms brewing that I need to get above. Okay, good to know. Not that I'm flying the plane, but if I was, what would I do? What altitude? You know we love our Skims. If you've listened to the show before, watched the show before, you know that we love our Skims.
Genuinely love
Yes.
them, and I promote them even outside of these ads.
She
All
does
of my friends
yeah.
know about it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Actually.
I mean, they're super soft,
they're
super comfy,
so comfortable.
very flattering.
They hold their shape. They wash well, and the cotton collection, especially like during the summer, has
Yeah.
been my jam.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah. Oh, here's some things. Here's some news. There are matching sets. You might have seen them all over your feed, but there are matching sets. So that's something we want you to know. And, there is a lot of hype around them, but we can we can verify.
I am
that
verifying
they
that
are
Skims,
worth the hype.
Yes, they're living up to all of the hype. They are creating the next generation of loungewear for literally everybody. I've not known anyone.
We're 10 years apart.
No,
You're about a foot taller.
and I sing all the praises.
And we can say that, that they do fit everybody.
Yeah, not only the bras and panties, but now the t-shirts, especially in the cotton collection.
Well, the cotton collection is also, this
They're
is
so
Skims'
good.
most tagged collection. It's made with
Ooh,
classic
I
cotton
didn't know
fabric for comfortable everyday wear. It's made from ultra soft, natural fibers. The cotton collection features elevated lounge pieces designed for comfort indoors and outdoors.
That's true. And if you happen to be a sweaty Betty, let me just tell you, it doesn't really show.
Yeah,
And
it does absorb.
that is like a thing when you wear something tight in warmer weather. I mean, now that it's fall, transition, whatever, it won't be such a thing. But I wore them all summer long and felt confident.
Yeah, and and whoever said loungewear was only for the house has not tried Skims. And to say that it's for everybody is so true because it's available in XXS up to 4X.
You mean extra, extra small?
XXS.
Up
yes.
to 4X.
XX small up to 4X.
Yes. And it's true though. So believe
What
the
did I
hype.
say?
You said XXS.
XXS. Extra, extra small.
Yes. The cotton collection and more are available right now at skims.com. So go there. Make sure that you tell them that WWB sent you. I think it says what Women Binge actually.
Okay.
So,
So you have to look, here's the thing. We say believe the hype. Skims has over 100,000 5-star reviews for a reason. The cotton collection and more are available right now at skims.com, which is the one that you love. The cotton collection is
Yes.
like your fave. Plus, you can get free shipping on orders over $75. And after you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast or What Women Binge if it's there.
it's all good.
Let's chat with Danica McKellar. We have a very strange history. Like, I don't know. Do you want to explain it? Like, I feel like
I mean, well, okay, it actually dates back to longer ago than you might think because my husband, Scott, had a very brief stint acting and did one episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yes, he did. It was a Halloween episode. I know because we still get the SAG checks for it.
which must be awesome. Yeah. So his residuals are like the best thing in the
He
world.
played like a jock, you know.
Okay.
I don't know. He was at a party and
Oh my gosh, that was probably our first. I think that was maybe our first Halloween episode. Was we did a big party thing, and I think I duplicated myself so that I could be in two places at once. I had to be at two. I don't know.
that sounds familiar. I did see the episode at some point.
You
when
did?
We're dating.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go rewatch it. I haven't, as Amanda knows, I don't ever watch my shows. Do you ever watch your shows? Do you watch your
Not-
stuff back?
No, I mean sometimes.
If you have to live tweet it,
Right, exactly.
but that's
exactly.
it. Like
Yeah.
otherwise, you're like, I'm done with that. I've finished.
I have no idea what that's like. Like zero.
Do you listen back to the podcasts? How about that?
Only because I have to like approve everything.
Oh, okay.
But if you didn't have to, like, do you listen? So you don't listen to it again? Like it's not like
No.
so like
Right, right.
No.
For pleasure, you know.
it's not like
hey,
you're binging it.
I'm gonna kick back.
I
And
mean, I'm
watch
a
my
fan of
Yeah,
us, but I'm not that kind of fan of us.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not,
you're
like,
working on
obsessed
the
with
next
us.
episodes. I mean, right? There's
Right,
stuff
right.
to do.
Yeah. So I have to tell you, my son Tucker, we were trying to figure out a family show that we could watch together as a family. We wanted something, my husband and I were like, we need something like appointment television where every night we watch one episode of something or at least twice a week or something. What should that show be? And we decided Wonder Years was the show.
Amazing.
So we as a family, but my teenagers, of course, were just sort of like, yeah, we'll meet you down there. We'll come down and watch, in the living room. And like kind of never showed up, but our 9-year-old got obsessed.
Amazing.
So he was very excited. He actually asked me today. It's like the first time it's the first time he's ever come to the studio. So all of our kids are right now outside. So if you hear a lot of noise, guys, that's what's going on. Yeah. But it's funny because he suddenly today on the drive over here, he's like, so who's your guest today? And I was like, remember Winnie Cooper? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be there. And he's like, no way.
Aw.
So it's funny that your show just like, how does it feel that it just keeps going?
No, it's just incredible. It's timeless.
It is.
I mean, it was a period piece, and so we didn't have any issues there. And so we played on all the universal themes and the universal feelings that kids have. And one of the things about that show is it was really the first of its kind to honor the kids' experience,
Yeah.
as opposed to from everything from the adult's point of view and the parents'
And
point
not
of view.
being like a Nickelodeon cheesy kid, like the kids are smarter than the parents sort of aspect.
Right, no, the real experience of
Yeah.
a kid growing up and all the ups and downs and all the strong emotions that we have at that time.
Yeah, that's why I loved it. I mean, that's why everybody loves it. And that's why you're like every guy's first crush.
It's true.
But then, of course, all your Christmas movies and your mystery movie, and now you're working on Great American Family. But you started on Lifetime, right? Then went to Hallmark,
Lifetime,
and now you're at
Hallmark, and now Great American Family. Yeah,
so fun.
But it's all about making movies that enrich people's lives and make them feel good. And for me, and the stuff even I did at Lifetime was not like some of the Lifetime stuff. It was more a little more good natured. It's for me, it's about putting positive energy into the world.
Yeah,
because there is so much craziness out there, and I just want people to be reminded of the good side of human nature and to be reminded what they can do if they're feeling down. Or like the Christmas movies, I feel like we give people ideas for Christmas traditions and remind them how to celebrate.
And just give them a place to. I always feel like, Christmas, as much as we all think of it as it's a time of hope, but as much as we all think of it as celebration and whatnot, for so many people it's painful, I think. And so I think that when they watch these movies, they have a happy ending. They know how it's going to end. They can bake their cookies while they watch it. I always feel like it's just a feel good, no surprises. It's not like Game of Thrones or something where someone's going to die and not come back next week.
You're going to get attached to a character and then suddenly they're gone.
And they're gone.
Yeah,
their head's on a pike. But
Many times you get to see these same characters 4 times over, which is great.
Yeah.
Christmas sequels are my favorite. Personally.
Sequels, yeah, they're very rare though.
They are rare.
Yeah, I wish I could do a sequel. There's so many I would do a sequel on my movies that I've done, but
Would you?
I don't get the opportunity.
Yeah,
I
no, because they're so fun, and you get attached to the cast members, and 3.5 weeks later, you're done, and we're like, oh, let's do a sequel, and then it never happens.
It never happens.
Ladies, chop, make it happen.
Well, the reason it doesn't happen is because the love story that happens is the most exciting part of that.
And
so
it's
the
complete.
sequel, it's complete, it's done.
And I've done some where it's very rare because they really don't let you do it anymore where the girl doesn't get the guy or the guy doesn't get the girl. But I've done a few of those, and there was one where I was in love with the Nutcracker, but at the end of Christmas he had to go back to being a piece of wood. So how are you gonna, as much as I want the Nutcracker to come back every year, she probably needs to find love in flesh. So
Yes,
that's fair.
Okay, the sequel is Pinocchio. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Go with me.
Okay.
And Pinocchio Nutcracker comes to life. And everything is amazing.
I love it. Yeah,
Yes.
The fairy could come down and grant him. Yes, absolutely.
Fairies can do anything.
We can do that. I know.
This
we
is
need to
why
do a
we
movie about
trust you
fairies.
with our holidays every year.
Thank you.
Like she said, good feeling stuff.
Creativity is just oozing out.
Writing itself. We can.
So how does this? So tell us. I know you've got this new book out. I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So in addition to acting, I've been writing these math books.
11 of them.
11.
Oh, we have another one too. Hang on.
I took a break from acting in college to get a degree in mathematics. Of all things.
Oh my gosh.
I
Where
love
did you go?
math. I went to UCLA.
Oh, okay.
I love math. I love making math fun for kids because when I was in middle school, I was terrified of math. I would literally come home and cry because I was afraid of my math homework. And I just discovered midway through that year, a new teacher came in and made it fun. I was like, oh, wait, it's the presentation, not the actual material. I'm not actually stupid. But kids always think it's them. They never think, oh, well, this teacher just isn't doing a good job explaining it. So
Where were you when I was 12?
well, and that's the thing. So I started writing books that I wish that I'd had. So I started off with Math Doesn't Suck, which is for middle school, all the way up through high school geometry. So all the hard stuff to learn. And then I went back and started doing little kid books, starting with Goodnight Numbers. This is the little floppy version of it for Imagination Library.
Yes. Comes in the mail.
Yeah. If you subscribe to Imagination Library, which is Dolly Parton's charity, amazing.
How do people sign up for that? They just go online?
You have to find out if it's available in your area.
I wish that had been available
I think it's
when my kids were little.
I think it's just imaginationlibrary.com.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
very
I started writing books to help, the youngest of kids to start making really happy associations with math. And this new one, Double Puppy Trouble, is one of those fun books that just sneaks in a math lesson. It's really the story about this girl who wants more of everything. She finds this magic wand that turns whatever you're looking at and you point at it, it doubles it.
Okay.
So when she points it at their puppy, the button gets stuck. And then so they double and double and double and double. And so you're learning this, sort of sneaking in the math lesson of, wow, this is the power of doubling. This is how quickly numbers get fast. But at the end of the day, it's a story of learning that less is more and learning how to really respect your siblings. Because at the beginning of the story, she has no time for her little brother, and then it turns out they kind of work together to solve the problem, and it's a really sweet, nice family story.
I love
for kids.
the I guess it's graphics in a book. I was going to say animation.
Illustrations. Yeah, she's amazing. Josie Massey. She
Beautiful,
did a great job. She also illustrated my book, The Times Machine. The Times Machine is multiplication and division with time travel because come on.
Yeah.
I need this book.
And that one teaches
I know. I'm
you
like,
all
I'm
the
thinking I'm going to
multiplication.
get that for Tucker now.
Yes.
Yes, he's 9. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, the times machine.
But
Same illustrator.
you sent one of these to my niece, and my sister's a math teacher, and she gave it rave reviews. So she said her kindergartner is loving this, and the whole idea of the twos, like, learning. So she's. I mean, you said earlier to me outside that it's like having your meatloaf and sneaking in your like vegetables.
Yeah,
So it
exactly.
is like that. It's like a great story.
My girlies need this one.
Yeah,
I have
beautiful.
twin 6-year-olds.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's perfect
It's
for them.
perfect. Yeah.
And they might also, if they're 6, first grade. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've got a book called "Do Not Open This Math Book."
Oh yeah,
And
I have that one. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, it's like addition and subtraction, but all the crazy Common Core things they're teaching now, I teach it that way and the regular way using
They have a whole
cartoons
different
and
set of
stories.
tools.
Yeah, and also there's the resource guide at the back. It's called the New Math Translation Guide for Grown-ups because everything has changed. So
Yeah. I'm gonna need to look at that again.
and the Times Machine has one of those too.
So I just want to know, how did you? Okay, so you learned that you wanted to get that the presentation was everything, and you wanted to present math, but like, how do you have to? Okay, acting wise, like you can pop into a character and learn your lines and step on set. How do you keep up with math to a level where you can like write books about? Like, is there something you have to do constantly to?
Oh, like the math itself?
Yeah,
No,
like
no.
Are you? I mean, I feel like I
mean-
don't use math unless I'm leaving a tip. So I don't know. Like, how do you use math still?
You know, the one book that I had to go back and sort of reteach myself some stuff on was when I did the high school geometry book, because that you don't really use very often. But I mean, I was a math major, so for 4 years I was entrenched in, I mean, the algebra that I used was just like it's like adding and subtracting. That's just a given. That's part of everything you do. So that I never had to refresh
What's the
anything.
movie with Good Will Hunting where he's like writing all the equations
Yeah,
on the wall? Is that you? Are you like,
You know what, that
writing all
movie?
these-
Okay, I remember the time watching it and just starting to understand what he was starting to write, and then they cut away. And I was like, well, they just cut it.
you're
Chris,
like,
wait
wait
a
a
second.
second.
That was it.
I wanted to see the math.
Oh, that's right. Nobody at all cares about that part. Right. That's why they would cut, because that's not what this movie is actually for. But I was either a math major at the time or just having finished, and I found that very
I
frustrating.
feel like you need to go work on Young Sheldon, because I have to constantly, when I'm directing over there, I have to like, they're always bringing in experts to like do the equations on the board, or but it's more like physics. I guess it's more physics stuff, but it's
Physics uses math. I mean,
yeah, and
math is the language of the sciences.
Oh, look at see, and I love math. My family, and I think my husband's family, or at least my husband's family too, all kind of think in math terms. Like, I prefer numbers when I'm memorizing my lines. I memorize it by how many words are in the sentence, how many sentences are in my line, how many lines I have that
Really?
scene. Yeah, so I kind of do it by number. I have to do it by letter as well. I have to be like, oh, well, this line that's tripping me up has 3 T's in it or something. But
Sometimes I'll do that, or I'll combine, like if there's for some reason one word into the next is just tripping me up,
Yeah.
I'll create a new word that's the middle, like the last couple of syllables of one word and the first couple of syllables of the next.
Okay.
And then I say that a couple times.
okay. Oh, that's interesting.
many
I haven't
tricks.
used that one. There's so many
Yeah.
tricks, but I feel like most of the time, if I can count it out, I can remember it, because I know, okay, I have 3 sentences. I can think of the first 2. What's the third one? So
Right.
So I know if
yeah.
I'm there or I'm not there, and I
Yeah.
know where I need to focus more. But my whole family, like my sister being a math teacher,
Yes, it's amazing.
my father-in-law is a CPA. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of numbers in our family. Although I don't feel like I can do math anymore.
You know,
The
math is,
quadratic equation was my favorite thing growing up. Though.
Yeah? You know what? I mean, I have in my book Hot X, which is the algebra book, I do this whole story about this little girl who goes into a mall, and each moment of the story helps you memorize the next section of the quadratic formula.
Oh, I love that. And you do a big thing on like Pi Day too,
Yeah.
right? On 3/14, you do like a whole.
Yeah, March 14th, 3.14. Well, I have a song.
You have a song.
I have a song,
and you're in
Pi
this
song.
pretty dress, and you're like laying in the
Yes.
field. Oh my gosh, you got to show the kids that.
This is all news to me.
You have to go back,
Okay.
go back
Dance-
to March
yeah.
14th and look at her Instagram,
Or
and
just
you'll find it.
or
I'm writing it down.
Or if you go to McKellarmath.
okay.
.com, McKellarmath.com on fun links, scroll down and you'll see the video for a Dance of the Sugar Pie Fairy
Dance of the Sugar
Yes.
Pie Fairy.
So
I love it.
to the tune of Dance of Sugar.
I need to memorize it. I feel like
Well, and that's why I wrote the song, because I thought, you know what? First of all, I was a math major and could only recite like 5 digits of pi. And I'm like, what's going on? And then there was a song. Do you know Chris Hardwick?
yeah.
So he and his partner at the time, the Hardin firm, they wrote a song, a pi song. It was like more of a chant.
Okay.
3.14159625258979323846264. So I was like, okay, well that's cool, but I want something more melodic, something more like girly, you know. I like.
Do you remember all of it, like from the song?
No.
Okay.
That's about as much. The song that I wrote, I can do most of it.
I wonder if we got confused.
Practiced.
Do you know that it was on my whatever Wikipedia was before Wikipedia? Whenever I would go do an interview, I just remember this. They'd always ask if I could recite pi up to 99 digits or something like that.
Why?
I think it might have been you.
They thought
that they were confusing me with or something like. I would always
amazing.
get asked that, and I was like, no. 3.14 is like all I know. I don't.
That is so
know
funny.
what you're
I'm so
talking
sorry.
about. No, it's so weird.
Well, I
was,
was
like,
asked that a lot, and I was like, well, this is a legit question. And I should be able to answer this. So the song that I wrote has 139 digits of pi.
oh, okay. Wow.
So that's a lot. So I figure that's pretty good. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
The
good. All right.
Overachievers edition.
I'm going to make
Right.
Tucker memorize
Hi.
that, and then he can impress his third grade class this year.
well, if he's obsessed with Winnie Cooper, then
He's
maybe
obsessed with
he'll-
Winnie Cooper, and he is actually really good at math. Hey, Amanda, do you like my eyewear?
I always love your eyewear.
No, me too. It's pear.
You're looking sparkly.
Am I
and
looking
ready
fancy?
for the day?
I know they're like little like cat eye-ish, right?
They're adorable.
I love them. These are my pear, but you know what? The fall season is a season of change, but life is more fun when you can choose to switch things up, right?
It's spooky season.
It's spooky season.
and guess what?
Pear eyewear
Pear.
has the best choices for your spooky season.
They not only allow you to personalize your wardrobe every day of the year, but this time of year they have a Halloween collection.
Oh my gosh, so if you're celebrating sweater weather or spooky season or both, their new designs bring a little autumn joy to your everyday look.
It's so cool. Pear has a frame to fit every face, even with 5 new wider base frames, which we talked about before, which is awesome for the men in your life.
Oh yeah.
And they're easy to find your perfect pair. You can do the virtual try-on right on their website. It's awesome, so you can select the right frame shape for your face without any question on whether or not it's going to look good on you.
They're also, the frames are built durable and versatile, so they're the only glasses you'll ever need.
It's so fun. You're not feeling your style that day, you just pop
On a new frame.
It's so good.
And you can get free standard shipping on all orders and a flexible 30-day return policy.
So cool. And you can save on traditional glasses markups with base frames that start at just $60 and top frames for $25.
Yes.
So cool.
Change things up this season with new frames from Pear Eyewear. Go to paireyewear.com/binge for 15% off your first pair.
That's Pair, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com/binge, B-I-N-G-E.
And thanks, Pear, for sponsoring What Women Binge. We have Carly and Chris Kirkpatrick here today, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys. You have known forever, but I want to talk to you about all the things you're binging. So, Carly, this is like your first interview?
Yes, it is, guys.
For real?
Yeah.
We're the exclusives here.
Yep. This is not my thing usually, but you know,
forced you.
I'm here for you guys.
I so forced
We
her.
appreciate this. I feel very special right now.
I am so thankful that you guys, like, as soon as I moved to Nashville, Amanda, Carly, like, you guys, like, immediately embraced me and, like, are teaching me all things Nashville and have been such great friends. And so
And I didn't
had
do
to drag
anything.
you here.
I
No,
didn't do
you've just been a
anything.
pain in the
I
ass.
just kind of- yeah, that's fine. fair enough.
No, I love you, Chris, and I'm so glad you're here. I have a story to tell later about us and how far back we go.
We have a lot of stories to tell.
We do. We do have a lot of stories to tell. It's true. We were, like, kind of on the same circuits, including, weren't you asking me about this blimp over my head?
Yeah. Your little Nickelodeon
I've got my Nickelodeon.
11th annual.
This was, yeah, I
What
seem
year
to win
was
a
the
lot this
11th
year.
annual?
I don't know. Why don't they hit the
Kids'
year on
Choice
there?
Award. I have been fascinated by these my whole life. I
know,
always see
it's-
people look through them, and I had never seen
It's a
one.
kaleidoscope.
until
Wait, you can
Yeah.
really
I
look
stole
through
it
them?
from her house, and I was like, I finally
know
get to
that.
You
look.
have one sitting
I
on
know.
the counter that you
Well, I
always,
didn't know that you
you always move.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
She
when it's
doesn't
in the
even
way.
care. Like anything I have.
Isn't that
set
my
the
up.
husband
beauty
doesn't
of
either.
it, though?
No,
She's
I
like,
keep
what
you
is this? Why
grounded.
is this out? I'm like,
The
it's,
color,
it's
it
a
doesn't really
kid's
match
choice.
with
It
what I have
doesn't
going
go.
Choice
on.
Award, guys. This is a big deal. I had
is.
3 of these, and somehow in all my moves and all my children, I've lost one. I'm sure it's been stolen or broken, and someone hit it. But here one sits in our podcast.
I don't know. I have one that I know where it is. We could have only won one. for all
Yeah,
I
I've
know,
only
but-
seen one, to be honest. I've only seen one.
I apparently won one for Latin America, but that's the one that's missing. Like, it was like best performer in Latin America. I think
They
I
had
was in a
blimps for the Latin American one too.
There was like different regions of the country or of the world,
Yeah.
and Latin America.
I mean, I
was one
know that
one.
part of the story. I know
Yeah.
there's like different regions.
Yeah,
Thank you.
There are different regions, and there's
Okay.
different Kids' Choice Awards for those regions.
Are there different like countries and continents
I think
on
it's
this earth
continents,
as
maybe.
well?
So, like Latin
It's like a
America, I won. I mean, it's not
geography
continent.
lesson I'm getting here.
It is. Do you want to know about?
No, I was just
Entertainment
curious
geography.
about
Isn't there
the
a
Latin
song?
award. Like I didn't know that they did the
They
blimp
did
with the
a blimp award
That's
for
all I
like
was
best
asking.
performer. I think J-Lo was in the category.
You beat out J-Lo?
I think I did,
Yes.
guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Wow.
wrong, but I'm going to have to look that up.
My ego would be so huge
I've
if
been
I got
saying that-
J-Lo at anything.
Guys, if I'm wrong, I've been saying that for years.
Who
so.
cares? That's how you start a conversation. Oh, hey guys.
check.
Beat out J-Lo for a Nickelodeon Kids Choice Award. I don't know if you guys know that about me.
kind of a big deal.
It's
Yeah.
number 1 on my resume.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I make people bring up when they're interviewing me. But I guess, all right, so let's go back. You want to go back, Chris? How long
go
have we
back.
known each other? You started in Orlando. I started in
You
Orlando.
started in Orlando. You were at Dr. Phillips.
I was.
Right?
We're Dr. Phillips graduates, aren't we?
I'm
Well,
not.
Oh, you're not.
went
No.
to Dr.
Joey.
Phillips? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Joey was at Dr.
Yes, I'm a
Phillips.
my husband didn't know that. You know what's so
didn't
funny
know
is he's
that.
watching,
You didn't know that
No.
either?
I knew there was a lot.
and Johnny
yeah.
Damon is
Yep.
one of them,
Johnny
right?
Damon.
That's our
And
gang.
Luis
Joey,
Fonzie,
Luis Fonzie,
and the Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, DJ
He
Khaled.
went to Dr. Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's
they all went
crazy
to
is
Dr.
I was
Phillips.
watching like the draft or something, and they brought up somebody's high school. My husband was watching the draft. I was not. It was in the background for me. And I'm wandering around the house, and then all of a sudden they said, from Dr. Phillips High School. And I went, oh, that's my high school. And my husband goes, what?
You went to Dr. Phillips?
Yeah, I went to Dr. Phillips.
AJ Brzezinski.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He
Baseball.
went there. There's a couple
Mulvihill.
other big ones.
It's
No,
because of our studios there.
And for
like,
people who don't know, it's right next to Universal Studios.
Right
across the
street.
street. I actually was not allowed. I need to ask like Joey and them if they were. Well, Joey actually went there, I think. I was, and I think some of the other Mickey Mouse Club people were enrolled there, and that's where my degree is from, or whatever. It's not a degree. Diploma. Thank you. I don't know these things because I never really graduated properly. Yeah. But my diploma's from Dr. Phillips High School, but I never was allowed on the campus unless I was doing the SATs or the ACTs. That's the only time I was allowed. They were too full, but they would allow me.
Well, then
to
you
enroll.
so you weren't hanging out at the Texaco across the street drinking Joke Cola.
No, because I was across the street at the
With all the
Nickelodeon
kids.
studios in the trailer doing my homework and learning my 50 pages a week.
Wait a second. You were in the Nickelodeon trailer?
Yeah.
I was in the trailer right behind the Nickelodeon building when I did the high tones at Universal, and that would have been the years you were in high
was
school.
doing that,
'cause
yeah.
I'm way older than you.
It was way
way
You just
older.
celebrated a big birthday that probably
Yeah.
threw you 2 huge surprise parties.
You've got
Still
21
recovering.
coming up, so
yeah, I'm gonna be
nervous.
21. I'm gonna drink.
Finally
for the
can
first
drink.
Time
It's gonna be
ever.
crazy.
Because I wasn't drinking when you left me on the Turks and Caicos Islands on 9/11.
Oh yeah.
about
that was
that.
totally my fault.
Wait, how old were
Totally
you
your fault.
when
No,
that-
I'm kidding. I was actually like 20. Oh, I don't know. 2001. How old was I? I don't
I
even
don't know.
2001.
Oh, now you don't want to bring it up.
I
Now
can't-
it's like a joke.
No, I was
never
deaf.
mind.
I
No.
need to
I wasn't
know-
even alive in 2001. What are you talking about?
Time out.
Yeah, out of this world. Time out.
Why? How?
9/11, Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, I need
So,
details.
as far as I remember it, you
Yeah,
guys.
you probably have a better memory about it than I do. I thought you were just there.
Yeah.
I thought it was like I didn't know.
Just hanging out.
We
Martin,
happened
you
to
were
be
just
at
there.
the Beaches Resort in
Well,
Turks
we were
and Caicos Island.
kind of in show mode. So we'd had that week. We were in New York. We did the MTV Music Awards
Well,
with
back in
Michael
first of all,
Jackson.
you're in a band called Nsync.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to
Right.
back up. We haven't
thought you
really-
knew that.
We haven't really laid that out
I
yet.
thought
but
we'd
go
already
on.
established that. There's also more regions in the geography of the world. If we're going to go back to that. If we're getting basic on everything. So
Okay, yeah.
we were on like a tour type thing where we did MTV Awards with Michael. That's when Michael came out, and we were like, oh my God, Michael Jackson's coming out.
yeah.
He hasn't done the MTV Awards since like Bad came out. And then the following night, we were at Madison Square Gardens doing the Jacksons' 40th anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
Which I looked at going, God, 40 years. And now I'm like, man, we're almost there now. Like that's it's not that
wow.
long. So we did that. Then we flew to Turks and Caicos. Had the show that night. So when you're like, oh yeah, I'm like, I didn't get. I
don't
saw
know where you were.
You're sending pictures of you on the beach.
You
like,
could have been in the
look how much
Maldives.
fun it was. I'm like, you got to have fun.
Yeah. So here's what happened. I was supposed to be in New York promoting my show, Sabrina, at the time. But okay,
You were on a show, Sabrina.
I was on the show. You were on the show, Sabrina.
I was on the show,
You were
Sabrina?
on a show called Sabrina.
Oh, I'm learning a lot
I forget.
today.
You were like something like Justin was like attacking the cat, and my mom got really mad about it. But But I mean, we were having like a dance party in my bedroom or something. It was super weird.
Now that you look
There's
back,
a lot
you're
of
like,
gifs
we were
of
having
it
a
or
dance
something.
party in my bedroom.
Dance party in my bedroom, and I pretended to like kick JC in the face or something. I don't know. I watched something recently.
Okay,
a
stop saying
GIF.
I don't know. You know exactly.
No, I've seen, like,
You're
the
so
GIFs or
faking this
GIFs
right
or-
now. I don't know. I think I kicked JC in the face. And
I pretended.
Justin was
I
messing
did
with
some
the
kind of high
cat,
kick.
and
I know
whatever.
Justin
You
messed
know
with the cat because
exactly
it
what
made my
happened.
mom mad. But no, so basically, the way I was told, you guys had just finished some huge tour or something, and they were bringing 50 radio winners from 50 different states to Turks and Caicos to celebrate like this big radio and like this huge end of your tour or whatever. And I mean, I think it was the end of the tour. I don't know. That part I'm not sure on. But we're at the resort and everybody's guests of basically Nsync, and we're all there having fun. And it's like Tori Spelling and Randy Spelling and Tara Lipinski, I think, was there. And
Okay.
Gymnast?
yeah. There was like an interesting
No, the
arrangement
martial artist.
I couldn't remember.
of people. You're right. No, you're right. I think Joey had a thing for her. But
Probably.
Joey had a thing. Joey's like Speedy Gonzalez. He's a friend of everybody's sister. Obnoxious.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. So we were there and it was on September 10th. I think you guys did a show on the 9th or 10th. You left on
It was
the 10th.
on the 10th because
Oh, it was
we
on the
left
10th?
after the show. I remember we left directly. They had a plane waiting for us, and we were like, we just want to get home,
Yeah,
relax, sleep.
you'd been gone a
And
long
we made
time.
it home like 1 o'clock in the morning. So we got home on September 11th.
And then on September 11th, I know that Tori Spelling and her group was supposed to have left, and someone knocks on our door as we're getting ready to go to the beach that day. I was going to stay till like the 12th.
Of course you were, because that's what you got to do.
I was
is
like, I am
enjoy
at
your
Beaches Resort.
vacation.
I am single. I am going to stay here and hang with my friend. And so I threw on my swimsuit, and someone knocked on the door, and I said, "Aren't you supposed to be on a plane?" And they said, "We'll turn on the news." And that's when. And then we were there for like because international borders shut down, flights ceased. And we were stuck there for. I mean, the term island fever is real.
Yeah.
I was like. We had heard the resort was running out of food. We were like, we would be like in the water wanting to get away from the news, but all we could do was talk about it and look for airplanes. No airplane. We were stuck there like 5 days or something. And then I saw you guys again at the American Music Awards.
And we acted like we didn't know you.
No, you.
That's
You're like,
usually
you
what
made
we
it
like
out?
to do around here.
No, you guys
Dang it.
were actually awesome. I want to say like 3 out of 5 of you. I don't know if you're one of the 3. Three of
I
you.
would love to not be one of the 3. This would be way better story if you were like, 2 of you were pricks.
Actually, like you and JC went ahead to the
Yeah.
mic. I presented the award. I said, "You guys won." You came to the stage, and like 3 of you descended on me and were like, "Are you okay? We're so sorry we left you there. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Are you all right?" And I was like, "I'm fine, guys. I'm obviously here.
I'm here.
Here's your award. Go, please talk to the people." So I love.
So you were on Sabrina the Teenage
I was on
Witch?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So were
What did you play on it?
What did you do on it? Do you remember what you did on it?
I have no idea what I did on it.
I can't remember what you guys did.
I think I remember flirting with your mom on the show or something.
Probably in real life.
That's what I meant in real life.
My
love your mom.
I actually remember when the Backstreet Boys were on. We drank some bottles of talent and they played basketball and sang or something. And I had to do a song and dance then. I have to go back and watch your episode.
Oh, stop lying.
I'm not
you remember the
sure.
Backstreet Boys episode and you don't remember our episode.
You know why there
at
were
all.
so many. You know
The
how
cat,
pictures-
Justin and the cat. That's all I
Justin and the cat is what I remember. And high.
I
kicking,
actually knew about that before
Yeah.
this, because you had told me before. The only time my mom ever got mad was when people messed with the cat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
'cause
cat
that
freaked me out though.
It was expensive.
I do remember the cat
What do you
freaked
mean it was
me out.
expensive?
Oh, well, it's an
You know, it wasn't
animatronic.
real.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's an animatronic, like
The
you
cat
know,
that talked wasn't real.
$100,000
Yeah,
cat that
so you
we
don't-
had
yeah.
to.
Where
You don't
It
mess
was before
Where is the
CGI.
I heard it was in the Smithsonian, but then I think it's in a puppetry museum in Atlanta. Last I heard.
okay.
So, and then the real ones,
Okay,
unfortunately,
wait,
have
which
left
one
us.
is it? The Smithsonian or a puppetry museum? Let's get this straight.
I
Because
want to
that's
say
like,
it was in the Smithsonian for a exhibit about television, but I have never.
and now
That's
it's in
what
a
my mother
puppetry
says.
That's what your mom
museum.
But it is in a puppetry museum in Atlanta now. Yes.
Fair enough.
So you can go to Atlanta and go visit the cat. Did you know that Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors breathing around 30,000 gallons of air daily?
It's a lot of air.
I didn't know that. 30,000 gallons of air. So according to the EPA, indoor air could be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. And in some cases, it can be 100 times more polluted.
Ew.
Is that crazy? Well, let me tell you something. Do you know Air Doctor?
I do know Air Doctor.
I know Air Doctor too. I love Air Doctor because it has helped me with this issue. I am so worried about my indoor air And especially since COVID and all those things, I was
know.
super concerned about indoor air.
Well, and it's allergy season. We've got pets. We've
Yes,
got
all those things.
kids that are
Pollen,
bringing all the
dust
things.
mites, mold. Air Doctor filters out dangerous contaminants and allergens, so your lungs don't have to.
Yes. So the pollen, the pet dander, dust, mold, it's all gone with their Ultra HEPA filter that's been independently tested to remove 99.99% of tested bacteria and
That's a lot.
viruses. Yes. And virtually 100% of particles as small as 0.003 microns.
That's small.
It's so tiny.
They also feature whisper jet fans, 30% quieter than most air purifiers.
And I can speak to this because our air doctor is like in our main living space in
Same,
our house.
yeah.
And you don't even notice it's there.
No.
It's
and
awesome.
It's lovely. I have mine behind a plant, and then it just like cleans the air, and I just feel like everyone's healthier because of it.
Yes. An Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't love it, you just send it back for a refund, minus your shipping, of course.
So head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code WWB. Depending on the model, you'll receive up to 39% off or up to $300 off.
So lock in this special offer by going to airdoctorpro.com. That's airdoctorpro.com and use the promo code WWB.
Thanks, Air Doctor, for sponsoring our podcast. Wait, so wait, I don't know if Amanda, do you know how Joey, like, can you tell her about the Tonight Show situation?
Yeah, I mean, the Tonight Show, well, that's sort of, we were doing all these commercials in New York, right? And, I had done a certain amount of them that first year. I forget how many it was, but it was quite a bit, like maybe like 30 of them or something. And so I was all over TV, like doing these commercials that were back then. Commercials, were like a big deal, right? You get a national Coca-Cola commercial or a Kool-Aid commercial, Tonka trucks, Tylenol, these big commercials that ran and were very popular. So the Carson Booker saw that, and I was like the kid that was all over these things. And then I had to audition for Johnny Carson, so I went out there and I auditioned for the show. I sang and danced because I didn't know.
No pressure.
I tapped and sang, and I had been tapping about maybe like 6 months. I think my parents started me with tap lessons like at about 4.5. So by the time I was 5, which was when I was out there, and they booked me, for that following Friday night, and I was supposed to do one song and go on for like 3-4 minutes for a little interview, and but I had a second song prepared, and they said you won't need it, but you'll have it. So Zippity Doo Dah was the second one to bring it home, and and I went out there, and Carson obviously calls audibles all the time because he's Carson. He was genius. Nobody in late night. I mean, I don't even know what late night is now, and I'll just go on the record saying that. But it's certainly not what Johnny Carson was.
Well, and with the writer's strike, it's all gone right now anyway.
Right.
Nobody's going right now. But I mean, like when we were growing up, you had Carson and Letterman and these guys that really knew the art form in essentially what it was meant to be.
Right.
And people were excited about it, and it was must see TV at night. Yeah. So anyway, went out there, and I guess it went really well. And Johnny was having a great time, and I said a couple of these iconic things that are on like the best of tapes and all these things. So he had me come back and do the second song and do another portion of an interview, and I was on there for 17 minutes. It was in our world going on a Tonight Show. It's like Mel.
That's like two
crazy.
segments, at least 2 segments.
That's
like
huge.
Normally you don't get that.
No. I mean, normally you do all this prep and you're out there for like 5 minutes. 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So 17 minutes is massive, and then we crushed it. Joan Rivers comes out on her hands and knees and goes, "I can't follow that," and that's how it sort of started because NBC literally like that was on a Friday, Monday, NBC. Brandon Tartikoff, who was the genius running NBC at the time, called my parents and said, we'd love to sign him to an overall deal. So,
and how you got on Give Me a Break. Is that right?
That's how I got on Give Me a Break. Yeah, I did 2 pilots, which was Scamps with Bob Denver, and it was written by Sherwood Schwartz, who did the Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island.
Oh, wow.
And that didn't go. And then I tested for Little Shots. They just brought me right to the test stage for that.
This is how I learned. That's how I learned to ride a bike. Was Ron Howard had this audition? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Me
right.
too.
See, I think that I didn't actually do it. We were in a church parking lot. I remember this because my best friend Kimmy's kids go. This is the church that they go to now. But we were in the church parking lot trying to ride a bike. Everyone's like trying to learn how to ride a bike because we had to ride bikes in this thing for some reason.
That's right.
I made
you
so many
all
friends
said
that
that you
day. Yeah, they flew us to LA, and like I'm doing this screen test, and it was crazy. And there's all these kids that became like big Hollywood stars there.
That's wild.
No, it was crazy, and I didn't know how to ride a bike either. And I remember the pressure. I was so nervous about that. And it was Ron Howard's first directing job, believe it or not, in television.
Yeah.
In television. So and then it didn't go. They put all this money into it, and it was an amazing pilot, by the way. It really was. I mean,
Wait, did you actually book? Wait, sorry. Wait, you didn't book the pilot, or you did book the pilot?
I did book it. The pilot didn't go.
Okay,
it didn't go. But it looked amazing. We got to see it. They had a screening.
Wow.
And it looked like Goonies.
Do you think this thing's on,
Goonies.
Is this on
YouTube
YouTube now?
Was the show.
Is it on? Is it on YouTube or anything now?
I don't know. I know that I'll never forget it.
It's got to be out there.
I forget the theater that they had it at, but they premiered it and they screened it for everybody. And I remember going to that. I was like 5.5, 6. So, but I remember it.
Oh my gosh, we got to get this. We got to find.
We'll look it up.
Yeah. We got to find that. Like that's got to be out there because I don't know if I don't remember if Soleil was in it, but like
Soleil was in it.
She was in it. I guess I couldn't learn to ride a bike, so I didn't get to be in it.
Soleil was in it. Believe it or not, Jeff Cohen was in it, who was Chunk in Goonies.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Wow.
But it was essentially Goonies before Goonies. I mean, it was before Goonies. It was 1981, so 82.
Did you guys ride bikes a lot in this? Because apparently there was a big bike riding element.
There was a huge bike riding element. There was a whole sequence. Like Goonies, we got around on our bikes.
Okay.
So believe it or not, Soleil, I'll never forget this because, we've watched it periodically. I mean, like when I was a kid, we'd watch it throughout the years. My mom loved it. So, but one of her favorite lines, one of the best lines in that whole thing was she never had a bike. Okay. Oh. So in the pilot, and we would always cruise past her and ride by her. And there was this really cute line where she's walking by in the haphazardly way she does it. And she's like, we're going to meet up. We're going to go to Smokey Joe's, who was like the villain. That was like the antagonist, and we rode away, and she's there, and she's like, I gotta get a bike. She didn't have one, so it was really cute. It was really, I'm telling you, it was way ahead of its time, and really was like a Goonies before Goonies.
Well, if you run into Ron Howard, tell him to release it if it's not already.
I know. They should.
We got to find this thing.
Cool thing to put up somewhere, especially like on Peacock or something.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. That's the kind of content people are looking for now. Can you imagine like watching everybody when they're like 6 years old?
That would be so cool.
It'd be crazy.
It'd be awesome. But everyone can go find your Carson stuff on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, that's all over the place.
Yeah.
You can YouTube that. Yeah,
and then of course there was the Blossom years.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was Give Me a Break and Blossom and then Brotherly Love, and then American Dreams, and then Melissa and Joey.
And then Melissa and Joey, where we had so much fun. Wait, real quick on the Blossom thing. Did we ever talk about the fact that I auditioned for 6 at the same time as I was auditioning for Clarissa?
You did tell me that story. Yes, you did. You did.
And Jenna Von Noy is a dear friend of both of ours. And actually I think she lives in Nashville too. She's been reaching out to me.
She does. I think she does. Or yes, I know she did for a long time. She may have actually moved back to California, but I think that she did for a long time.
I think she's back and forth a little bit, or she's in the area. I'm not so sure
she's still acting.
No, she is acting, but she's more. She segued into something. I want to say directing or writing.
Oh, good for her.
But we'll have to have her on the show. And I'm actually doing Mayim's podcast. Have you done hers yet?
I have not done Mayim's, no.
What's it called?
No,
Brain
but
Power.
I will. I did Mayim's show for her. I did Call Me Cat. I did an episode of that last season. I know, I guess it's not coming back or whatever, but last season I did an episode, the first episode of season 2.
Okay. And you guys were in the Old Navy commercial not too long ago, a few years ago. Was that Super Bowl?
Yeah, Old Navy, right. Yeah. I know. And they're always talking about a Blossom reboot. I guess, look, there's a lot of chatter about that now, especially because she's done with her show.
Everybody wants these reboots, huh? That's like...
They do. So they have a script. It's really good, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
If Blossom can happen, Sabrina can happen.
I know, but I don't know that we want Sabrina.
Just put it out there.
It'd be
a lot of people are big, and a lot of people, and this is true, are saying like Melissa and Joey's got to come back. And,
that one. So I have to say, when people are like, "What's your favorite character?" Oh yeah, our coasters are Melissa and Joey.
I love it.
People are like, "What's your which is your favorite character to play?" And everyone expects me to say Sabrina. A few people might expect Clarissa. She was so cool.
Mel.
But it's Mel because she was such a freaking... she was
a hot mess.
Flawed, hot mess, dumpster garbage pile of fun to play. Like, she was drunk. She was sexy. She was like...
You were drunk, you were horny, you were motherly, you were, single and crazy. And yeah, I mean...
I got to say honestly, some funny lines.
Those characters were both really, really, they were fallible and they failed a lot most of the time. And I think they were super relatable because of that. And I love seeing characters that are really likable, but also fail a lot.
Yeah, and she was so flawed. That's what I loved about Mel. She was so flawed. So Amanda, you know when you're sick and you're like trying to find what these symptoms mean and you stumble down a big old TikTok rabbit hole full of questionable advice from so-called experts?
Yeah, let me just tell you, having just had the flu, there were many suggested remedies on the old TikToks.
Or like your group chat or whatever, right? Everybody like tries to tell you what you got, what's going wrong, what you should do. But you need to hear it from trusted professionals, not just random people on the internet.
Yeah, that's why I'm very grateful for ZocDoc. They help you find expert doctors and medical professionals that specialize in the care that you need and deliver the type of experience that you want.
ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed. They take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun.
Millions of people use ZocDoc's free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who's patient reviewed and fits their needs and schedule just right.
Go to ZocDoc.com/WWB and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours.
That's ZocDoc.com/WWB. ZocDoc.com/WWB.
Thanks, ZocDoc, for sponsoring What Women Binge. You know, I don't know if I told you this, but we had Taylor on the show a few months back, and I watched.
And she's doing something else now, right? What she did?
She's
doing
here.
something totally different, right?
She lives in Nashville. She works for the Humane Society. She's saving animals one puppy at a time. Yeah, she's doing great things, and she's still acting, but she's not really.
She just did a young
pursuing-
Sheldon not too long
She
ago.
does do a lot of Young Sheldon. That's true. She plays his college sort of buddy on Young Sheldon. So I actually directed her in an episode of Sheldon. So that's funny. Yeah. But she goes out to LA once in a while for that, but she's more dabbling in it, and I don't know if she's sure she wants to continue on right now. But then we also had Nick Robinson on the show, who's blown up in huge ways with Love, Simon and Jurassic Park and all these other big movies he's done.
Nicky blew up when he was doing the show.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, it was like he got these major monumental career sort of landmark, moments while he was doing the show for us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he got it's funny, I just looked at his IMDb page the other day and it doesn't mention Melissa and Joey on it.
I gotta say, like, I know that's always such a pitfall for these younger performers that don't really have a perspective on things, where, and it happened a lot. I used to see these American Idol alums when American Idol was really meaningful, like when it actually launched people. Like today, I mean, it's still on and it's an enjoyable show, but I don't think it's an arguable point even that it's not launching like the Kelly Clarksons and
Carrie Underwood's like it did.
Anymore.
Yeah,
no,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Carrie Underwoods. It's just not launching those people anymore. But it's still great to watch. It's fun entertainment and all that stuff. However, it always killed me early on when this show was the biggest show on the planet, 40 million people a week. And as soon as they would win it, and then if they went on to do other things, and there were a few of them went on to do great things and win awards and and become actors, and they would be like, they literally wanted nothing to do with the show. Like they wouldn't even mention it.
Yeah.
And you're going, why? Look, that means something to the fans who have watched your journey.
Yeah.
The reason why people are going to see you in a movie is because you were on this show.
Yeah.
Right.
And that gave you the platform to have a voice and to show people how talented you were so that you could do the things that God put you down here to do. So for me, it never makes any sense to me why you never want to mention how you got your start, because that's where the journey begins.
But is this sort of like because of our age now that we have that perspective, or where we are in our careers being veterans of the business now? Like, do you feel like, or because like, did you kind of disconnect yourself from like the woe thing and all the like the kind of the things you were known for?
Not really. I mean, I couldn't escape that.
Yeah.
I look, I wanted to go on and do other things. You know what I mean? And I was excited about doing things past that and growing up and becoming a man and not having to play little kid parts and stuff, But I was always thankful for that moment, because that was the journey that got me to where, that's allowed me to do this, just like you, and look, there's ups and downs.
It's a springboard for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish that I don't know if I ever will, a lot of things that I have left that I feel creatively that I want to do. But certainly being thankful for the work, and the continued opportunity to work. That's a very important thing that you have to keep in perspective.
Do you think that comes from being an East Coast actor too? Like that we are both sort of more interested in being working actors than like the huge fame and fortune?
Yeah, look, to me, the fame part of it was never important, right? We didn't think about that growing up because there was no, today fame is the driving factor, especially because of social media, right? You're famous because you're famous. Like your fame is being famous. Like it's not based off, especially in the social media world, it's not based off a lot of talents or individual accomplishments. It's you're famous because you're famous, and the end goal is fame. That's how you generate a platform for advertising and to make money and monetize everything. I never thought about that. I don't think you did either.
But I think
it was
that was
just
an East Coast
I love
thing.
to do this, and I was able to do it. And the fact that I realized at some point that I was making lots of money doing it, and it was really cool, to be able to take care of my family and go on trips and do these things and enjoy life to the fullest. That was just a byproduct of being able to do something that I love to do. And you had to have a skill set. We talk about it all the time, even on. We just got done doing an episode on our pod with like the brothers, and we talked about, you had to have a skill set and you had to be good. And when we were growing up, man, if you weren't good,
you were out the door.
You were cut. You were out.
Like even while you're shooting, you'll be shooting a commercial and they'll replace you. You'll be shooting a sitcom, they replace you.
like in the middle of the moment.
Yeah.
You show up at a table read. I'm convinced that you show up. Look, I remember our table read for Melissa and Joey, right? People were excited about the show. That was one of the most, but after that table read, because you brought your A game and so did I, and we've all been at table reads when the name cast shows up and they're not prepared.
Yeah.
And that table read blows. It sucks.
Yeah.
And people all get nervous because they're about to spend a lot of money.
And they rewrite to try to make it work because they don't think it worked because people didn't prepare and people don't have the gift of kind of like reading it, like going in a cold read and actually being able to deliver.
That's right. Do you remember them? People were laughing for hour. I mean, it took us. We had like a 15-minute laugh spread in that table read. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's right.
We were so long. That script, that show was so long. It was so they had to cut so much because people were literally dying, and it gave such a vote of confidence to that network to give us a shot, and that really paved the way for our 100+ episodes because Mel and I started that like nailing it. We came in and we crushed it. And that was a mentality that you have to have. It was an appreciation, it was an accountability and a mentality. And that's what drives you to longevity, I believe. Because you're going to have your ups and downs. But you have to have those three things. And a lot of young people today, there's a lot of excuses made when they mess up. There's a lot of excuses. They get 12, 13 chances. And there's never really a work ethic that gets developed. You had to have when we were growing up. They didn't treat us like kids.
Yeah.
We have to revisit something, whether it's the movie or the show.
So you call Peacock. Call your buddies over at Peacock and let's get on there.
Everywhere I go, people are like, "You guys have to do it."
I would love it.
I feel like we need to do something.
All right, let's do it. Well, will I see you at 90s Con in Tampa?
I might be there.
All right,
yes.
try to be there.
Matt will be there for sure because he's doing a Boy Meets World thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I might be there.
All right.
So,
all right. Love you, kid.
So text me or call me.
I will.
I will blow you up as well, especially when we're trying to knock down this date for you to come on our show. Okay?
Of course. All right.
We'll talk soon. All right, ladies.